What is up, YouTube? That's here, and today I'm super excited to be bringing you guys a video where I will be reviewing every single version exclusive Pokemon in the upcoming Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Shining and Pearl games. And on top of that, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be challenging you guys to play a little bit of a game with me where we compare each Pokemon and then give a point system dedicated to which ones we like more to actually find out what version each of us should buy and which version is the most competitive, because I think there's one version that has a little bit better Pokemon than the other, and the answer may surprise you. So after every single round of analyzing the Pokemon, being like Dialga and Palkia in the first round, I'll decide to give a point to either Brilliant Diamond or Shining Pearl, and at the very end we'll get to see which version has the best Pokemon. So I challenge you guys to play this game with me as well and leave your answer in the comments. I've actually done this video before for Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon games, and I think the Let's Go games as well. And those are some of my highest viewed videos on this channel. So this is a game people tend to like. It ends up being a lot more fun than you might think. So if you like this, you want to see more about this stuff, just interact with the video and it will do well. So let's get right into it. So version exclusive Pokemon and Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, the very first ones. And again, I just want to give a little disclaimer. This is my personal list, but I'll try and be as least judgmental as possible when explaining things, saying like, all right, for example, Dialga and Palkia. Historically, if we take just the history of Pokemon, Dialga is a better Pokemon. It has better typing. Steel is just a really, really good defensive typing. Yes, it has weaknesses to like fighting. Yes, it has weaknesses to ground and stuff like that. The Palkia doesn't, but Palkia just doesn't really have enough like offensive coverage. And the history of Pokemon, Palkia is just a little bit more of a thing you can almost ignore. Like putting up a light screen pretty much invalidates a Palkia. Putting up a Snarl in a Palkia really doesn't validate it. Even in Sword and Shield, where we have like Dynamax weakness policy plays, like Palkia can be tunneled into becoming a little bit too one-dimensional. That being said, I do like Palkia more than Dialga, and I played Pearl version originally back in Gen 4. So, you know what? I actually think in these remakes, I think Palkia might be a little bit better, because if everyone's going to pick Dialga, because historically Dialga is better, I think Palkia might be pretty decent. Obviously, Dialga would still have a super effective move against Palkia, or Palkia doesn't have against Dialga, but I think Palkia is just better in the term of like the Gen 4 decks. So I'm gonna give my vote to Palkia, just because I'm a Gen 4 stan, and I used Palkia back in the day. So let's get my little text thing here. So Shining Pearl, first vote. That's a +1 vote. And so the way these are gonna go down, you're gonna see when we scroll down to these things, like Shieldon would be compared against Rampardos. Mismagius and Mischievous we compare against like Murkrow and Honchkrow. So it's going to be the inner circle comparing out. It's going to be pretty obvious. So I guess the first one we're going to take a look at is Murkrow and Honchkrow versus Mischievous and Mismagius. And I really do think that Murkrow is going to be one of the best Pokemon in doubles. It's going to be the only Prankster Tailwind Wand, if I'm not mistaken. Whimsicott isn't in the game. So Murkrow is going to be A+ S tier, like amazing. And a Dark type, so you can't like Prankster taunt with other Murkrows into it. So it's going to be really, really good. Honchkrow also not terrible. A lot of people are excited for Honchkrow. And on the other side, Mismagius, Mischievous was only really good with Eviolite versus Murkrow. It was usually built with Sash. And Mismagius, like we have Gengar. Like Gengar is going to be faster. It's going to be stronger. It's going to technically have better coverage too, in my opinion. So I do think that's going to be a vote for Brilliant Diamond. It's definitely going to be a vote in the Brilliant Diamond department. And we're all tied up with 1-1. Only the second vote, though. Still early. Think about playing this game. It's not too hard. We'll take a look at Rampardos versus Bastiodon. Man. I know a lot of people like Rampardos. They throw Choice Scarf, Choice Band on it. Cruise Control for cool. Big damage, big head smash. I like Rampardos, but I really like Bastiodon. I really, really like that Pokemon. And Bastiodon gets things like Wide Guard, which is going to be pretty uncommon in this format. So I think that like we might see a little bit more competitive play from Bastiodon's side. And I also, like I said, I really like it. And I'm not going to stop me from picking a Pokemon that I like. It's probably, I wouldn't be surprised to say it's probably within my top 50 Pokemon. I just think it's a really cool one. Videos with it always do well on this channel as well. So it's definitely worth respecting. Up next, we're going to have Glameow. Yeah, let's do Glameow and Purugly versus Stunky and Skuntank. That's a hard one, because I think Skuntank's really good. Dark Poison is a very good type, but I think we do have... what is that? Drapion. I think you're going to hear me say this a lot. Like, XYZ Pokemon is just outclassed by another one, so don't waste your version exclusive pick on it. So, for example, we have Drapion, which is going to be a little bit better than Skuntank, in my opinion, just a little bit. So, and also, like, Glameow Sorry, it gets like a Fake Out, it gets like a Defiant, I think. So it's going to be a really, really good mono, like Ugly and Glammy are going to be great ones. So that's a vote for the Shining Pearl department. Even in like singles, let's just talk about it from a singles department, because I'm trying to do both VGC and singles. I think that Pokemon's still pretty good. Ugly, I think it's pretty good. I think there's a couple Last Resort sets that are pretty popular. You go Fake Out, Last Resort. Above, I think it has base 112 speed tier, so that's a really nice speed tier too. So Shining Pearl's in the lead, surprisingly. But up next, this is blowing out of the water. Scyther and Scizor, 2 for 1. I talked a little bit about it in yesterday's video that I think Scizor is going to be the numero uno best Pokemon of the game. So Scizor, obviously. If I could give 2 votes to Brilliant Diamond for that one, I would. Because holy moly, like, Scizor is amazing. And like, I'd rather have Scizor than all of these other Pokemon in the decks. So that's just my opinion. All right, let's scroll down. And so we're going to see the Electivire line versus the Magmortar line. I talked a little about how I really, really do like the Electivire line, and I think it's amazing. I love that it gets coverage like Ice Punch, Earthquake, Cross Chop. So in singles and doubles, good Pokemon overall. Definitely better than Magmortar line. There's just better fire types. There's no reason to run a Magmortar over something like an Infernape. Even Infernape would be a better special attacker than a Magmortar too. So Infernape, it just super outclasses Magmortar, and Electivire is going to be tying it up. Oh my goodness. We have a tie. That's nutty. That's crazy. I think it's money for the next one. You know, I said, like, I'd rather have Scizor over, like, all these other Pokemon. They literally did that. They said, all right, you can have Gliscor if you want it, and Gligar, which are both good options. Even Gligar's even good in lower tiers, even without, like, Eviolite. Or Sudowoodo and Ursaring. I think you actually just still pick the Gligar. Gligar's going to probably be meta. It is losing Toxic, like Gliscor, so it's going to be a lot harder to play. And I personally think that Garchomp's just going to be better. But if they ban Garchomp, Gligar's a great option. And it's not a bad Pokemon at all. So really, really good stuff. Brilliant Diamond takes the lead. And we're going into, I mean, you know what I gotta vote for. Guys, for you guys who don't know, my channel mascot, my favorite Pokemon of all time is Butterfree. So I gotta give a vote to that. And it's just better than Beedrill anyways. We talked about it in our bug tier list video yesterday. Butterfree gets Quiver, gets Compoundized Sleep Powder. Really, really underrated Mon. And has just enough speed to actually make it work. So Butterfree's gonna be great. Let's compare Ekans versus the Sandshrew line. I think you're going to have to give it to Ekans and Arbok. Sandslash is cool, and Spinners with Stealth Rock setters are hard to find sometimes, but I don't think there's a reason to run Sandslash over something like a Fortress, unless you're really scared like a Fire weakness, and you want to be able to fire back with a super effective move. Like, Sandslash should be better against like an Infernape than a Fortress would, obviously. But there are other, like, you could use a Donphan over a Sandslash and have better coverage. So I think that Arbok's going to be better just because Intimidate users are going to be relatively hard to find. You guys remember when we were tied? Do you remember when we were tied? And now we're at 6-3. Holy moly. Let's compare Ninetales versus Arcanine. Ninetales is going to get Drought probably as a hidden ability. But again, Arcanine is Intimidate. And you can't really put a price on Intimidate in the doubles meta. With Incineroar leaving, Arcanine's going to, you know, skyrocket usage again. I just generally think Arcanine just brings a lot more to the table. I don't ever see Ninetales really realistically even being like OU for anything other than Drought. And it's not enough of a reason to make it work in singles. In doubles, like, it's cool, but there's not really that many Sun teams that are going to be meta. Like, Ninetales Venusaur isn't as good as you guys might think it might be in doubles. So Arcanine, obviously, just gonna get the vote here. I personally will say, as the first person, I think I'm the first person to ever top cut a regional with Arcanine. Arcanine's great. Arcanine's absolutely amazing. But I always, back in the day, was a Ninetales stan. I like me some Ninetales, and like, I use a lot of Alolan Ninetales in Pokemon Unite. I think Ninetales is really cool. I just don't see it being better than Arcanine. If you were to compare Ninetales to Arbok, well, then maybe Pro would have got the point. Let's scroll down to the next threshold. Right here. Right? Perfect. All right, there's a lot of stuff to vote on here. We basically just have the rest of the list right here. So, Seal line versus Slowbro Slowking line. So the Seal line actually gets a bunch of cool stuff. It gets like Fake Out, Encore, Perish, right? Sorry, does it get Perish? No, I think it does get the Perish. It's a great bond for doubles, and I rocked the Dugong Master Trainer for a really long time, but I don't think you can put a price on the Slowbro line. Regenerator is going to be amazing for both Slowbro and Slowking in singles, and in doubles, probably the best Trick Room setters in the format are going to be right there. So you got to give it to Shining Pearl in this one. That seems like that's a big win for Shining Pearl. Underrated win right there. Stantler line versus Kecleon. Stantler is another Intimidator. It's the only Pokemon that gets Intimidate in Trick Room. But Kecleon's really cool as well. I think Kecleon gets like skill swap with the ability to have like protein or color swap. So I don't hate Kecleon. I think you got to give it to Stantler just on the chance that like Stantler might see competitive play versus Kecleon's just a meme pick. So I think you have to give it to Stantler here. All right, so let's cover the whole rest of the list. There we go. Right there, perfect. So it's 7-5. It's anyone's game right now. It's anyone's game. The Ludi line versus the Shiftron. I already talked about Sun not being as good. And Ludicolo is just like really good in both singles and doubles. It gets fake out for doubles. Probably one of the best Swift swimmers in the format other than Kingdra. So definitely have to go to Shining Pearl in this one too. All right. Let's start with the Mawile versus Sableye. Sableye is amazing in doubles. We're talking about doubles. Like Sableye is amazing. It does lose Encore, but it gets fake out, gets quash. It gets big stab foul play. Absolutely amazing Pokemon. Prankster Will-O-Wisp, Prankster Recover, stuff like that. Can't really put a price on Sableye in doubles compared to like most of the other Pokemon. I guess I talked about Murkrow being the only Prankster Tailwind setter. Sableye is definitely like a counter to Murkrow in my opinion. Not like a direct counter to Murkrow, but like an alternative option. I also think in singles, Sableye is great. You know, you can just go like Will-O-Wisp into something and have like leftovers and just go like sub recover, sub recover, sub recover, and just kind of stall things out. So it's usable. It's probably like a UU Pokemon in singles, and it's definitely worth the vote over Mawile, which doesn't Mega. And you remember when I said like, remember when we were tied, and then remember when Brilliant Diamond doubled? What was it, like Shining Pearl? And then remember when Shining Pearl came back and now it's 7-7. Who thought it would have been this close? Zangoose versus Seviper is not close. I definitely think Zangoose has a lot more going for it. Seviper's cool. They both really, but Seviper's coolest thing is like a very hidden Final Gambit versus Zangoose also gets Final Gambit. Zangoose also has better coverage, and Zangoose is like almost usable, and I like Zangoose. So we're gonna give the vote to Zangoose. Solrock versus Lunatone. I think you give it to Lunatone. I think there's a reason why you pick Lunatone. I don't remember the reason, but I'm going to give it to Lunatone. I'm going to give it to Lunatone. I've used Lunatone before, and I've never used Solrock, so that's my Lunatone vote. T-Tart versus Sally. This is a hard choice. Sally was banned in Gen 4 OU, and it's probably the best Intimidator in the format. You know, it's better than things like Arcanine and the others. And it's definitely like, you know, when I tend to think of Sally and the things that are on the same level as Sally, I think of Garchomp. I don't think of T-Tar. Obviously, they have to include Garchomp in the game just because it's Garchomp's gen. So it makes sense. I almost want to say, like, I'm surprised they have, like, it being compared with T-Tar and not, like, Dragonite. Because then Salamence would obviously get the vote. I think a lot of people are going to vote for Salamence. I'm going to vote for T-Tar just because I think T-Tar is one of my absolute favorite Pokemon of all time. And when, like, building teams, I tend to go to T-Tar teams at the start. There's not really any big Sand Rush tech in here. It's just like T-Tar is just really good. It's one of my favorite rock setters. It loses Pursuit in this gen, but I like T-Tar more than Salamence. And if, like I kind of said at the beginning, if there was something I were to compare Salamence to, it's Garchomp. And so I'd rather run Garchomp if that's an option. So again, that kind of does, in my personal opinion, invalidate a lot of what Salamence does. So I like me some T-Tar. What can I say? So you can see the three legendary dogs here are being compared against the three counterparts. It's like, yes, the water versus ice type. But then, like, the electric versus fire? No, we're going to compare Arcanine. We're going to compare electric to electric, fire to fire, and water to ice. So we're going to start with Suicune. Suicune's my favorite legendary Pokemon. Suicune is amazing. Gets the vote. Entei versus Moltres. Entei still keeps Flare Blitz, still keeps Sacred Fire, still keeps Extreme Speed. Gets the vote. And Inner Focus, if these have potentially hidden ability for doubles, absolutely amazing. Raikou, keep Scald. It will be the best electric type in the game. Zapdos, I would give Zapdos the vote here. I would give Zapdos the vote here. It loses Heat Wave, it loses Hurricane. It's still going to be amazing. Zapdos is still going to be meta, still going to be OU, because it gets Roost, it gets a healing move. But Raikou keeping Scald, getting Volt Switch, things like that, I'm going to give it to Raikou. I'm going to give it a clean sweep. I'm going to give it a clean sweep on the birds. Sorry, on the dogs. Clean sweep. 9-8. And the last one, Ho-Oh versus Lugia. You know, I've built some pretty good Ho-Oh teams over the years. I think Ho-Oh's amazing. But in a game that already has Entei, I think it's kind of weird that they gave the dogs on that side. They should have given the dogs on the other side so both games have a Sacred Firemon. We already have Entei. And Lugia, I like Lugia. I like Lugia a lot. I like the way it looks. I think it's pretty unique. There's not really that many mons that have the same playstyle as Lugia. While I would say Ho-Oh might be better, I will give a pity vote to Shining Pearl for Lugia. So it looks like Shining Pearl has like my favorite like Ubers being like Lugia and Palkia, but it looks like it's gonna be a 12-9 for version exclusive Pokemon in Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, please, please, please leave a comment below letting me know your score at the end, and you know, let me know why. Let me know if you're really excited for these games. I cannot wait. I will be probably getting both of these, but after, you know, doing this list here, I'm obviously going to be playing Brilliant Diamond first. This game has Scizor, right? It has Scizor, which you need for competitive play. It has Electivire, which I think is really good. I think, so like OU Pokemon, OU Pokemon, OU Pokemon, borderline OU Pokemon. It has the potential to be good. It's my favorite. Probably OU. Very high, low tier Pokemon. UU Pokemon, OU for sure. All three of these will be OU, and the mythicals are banned, right? Not mythicals, the Ubers are banned. So it's like, you have the lower tier Pokemon plus the Slowking line here, and that's it. You know, like, I feel if you want to be a hipster, you could play with the Palkia, but you gotta go Brilliant Diamond. I don't know how they thought that this was like a balanced split, and I'm surprised I gave as many points as I did to Brilliant Diamond, sorry, to Shining Pearl, because Brilliant Diamond has like everything you actually need to be like a competitive player. Like if you don't get Brilliant Diamond and you don't have like a ton of people to play with, you're like actually like sabotaging yourself, because that is the game that will have all of the good Pokemon, barring like Slowbro and Sableye. That's basically the only reason you get Shining Pearl with Slowbro and Sableye. But guys, thank you so much for watching. Hope you're liking these double videos, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace out.